Okay, excellent. Let's say there. See, the Zoom actually worked better. Okay. Let's say the Gemara says. Yeah, we're going to start in the two dots in Daf Lamed Aleph Amud Beis. The Gemara tells us. Yeah, that's two. Yeshiva Beis Matem B'Freim. Says the Gemara. Isu ve'Rav Safra ovid iske behade adabi. He said Rav Safra, they made business together. Also Rav Safra polaglei beloidaite the isur be'ape be'trei. He went and split the business in front of two people without Isur knowing. Also made the Rabba Barabu, one in front of Rabba. Homalei zil I say ploso the palgi kamai. Go bring three that you did in front of them. Right? Add three. Inami, or the base without a dot. Train me goy ploso. 2 out of 3. From the 3. You don't have to have all 3 here, but if 2 of the 3 say we were 3, it'll be good enough. Inami, trace the palga babi bitloso. Or 2 se'edim that saw you doing in front of 3. Where is this coming from? This is coming from our Mishnah. So our Mishnah said that if somebody wants to go and do an Aveda, and he doesn't want to get paid the lower amount, so okay, I'm going to get paid. I want to get the full amount. So he goes in front of a basin of 3, and then he says, I'm not willing to accept the lower amount for the Aveda. I want to get a higher amount. So the Mishnah says, in that case, if you do that, so then you have a din that you come and say, I'm not going to take any more I'm not going to take the lower kipoil bottle. We learned yesterday. So says the Gemara, it's the same thing over here. You want to go and split the business, you have to have it in front of 3 to come and say that that's what you're going to do. How do you know that? Right? It says if you have base, you have to do it in front of base. And if you don't have a base, you can't just go and split it. So what do you have to do? You have to go to you're not going to give back that base. So, and if you want to come and take something to somebody else, you want to accept the money that belongs to somebody else, you must have a base. What's the comparison? Here he's taking money from one, giving it to the other. Meaning he's taking money from the Baal Avedo, and he wants to give it. He wants to take it. He wants to basically extract money to demand the compensation. But he didn't need a base. But here, the day or the box says Divi Shakli. It's my I own it. I'm right here. I'm an owner. Ilui Milso Be'amahu betray Sagile. Here, it's only Ilui Milso. I just want to come and say that I'm not willing to continue with this partnership. So 2 people is enough. I don't have to have 3 as 8.
You take too much now?
Yeah, it's the rules.
When so it's
so you
take because it's Shuma. Because of Shuma. If actually here, it's because of that, it was to extract the money. Afterwards, you could come. That was not the Taina. Taina was they actually split. That's the Chur comes out of the Sugi. No, you could come. How can you come and decide that we're dividing it? It's not only the Shuma, it's actual division. The division here. So the Shuma is another thing. Here, it's okay. I don't know if that was the Taina over here. I hear they are. Okay, says Tay that it's done. Says over there that Almona can sell Hiksuva now for a Beis Din. So you see that we're not asking for a Beis Din every time someone just takes the money he owns. What? Because the money you have 0. Right? So Rashi says, look Rashi, last Rashi for the Mishnah. So Beis Din will vad sheyu shnaim shlotim kor bezor. By the way, let's go back to you, Rav Nachman, that you see that it is some kind of a shuma. It's not a shuma's Beis Din, but it's just having 2 people over there. It just shows that you're not doing any games, not playing any games. So you do have to have the 2 also for that. It's not a shuma, but you see that even if Almona does have to have 2. So he says, so you see over here that what it's enough to have only. Enough to have by money, you don't have to have a Beis Din. So tomorrow, But tzricha beis din shel yotis. You do have to have beis din. So you don't have to be mumchi. It can be a yotis. So you do have to have beis din. So your raya is not a good raya. By the way, so here the Rishonim explain that the beis din shel yotis over here doesn't mean beis din shel yotis like throughout Shas. Throughout Shas, beis din shel yotis means that they're not smuchim from Eretz Yisrael, but they're a beis din. Here it means there's three people in the shuk. It's like the closest thing that we have is a Torah Nedarim and Rosh Hashanah. You get three people in the shul. That's what you do.
So it's chalon.
So it's chalon. We have by principle depends on the chokes Rishonim if you have to have a beis din mumchi or not, a beis din which is a real beis din or not. But anyway, here we talk about a regular. We're talking about just three people, but the Gemara is saying, it's not have to have two. You have to have three even by Amana. So when you want to come and divide the shutlos, you have to have three. Now, one big yara over here that we're referring to this basic, and the basic you come and you divide it. So just to mention, because Tosis, the big Tosis and Dafam and base has the few yaras that we're showing say over here. The idea of matim base, and we want to do the Avedo. One of the things that Tosis asks. He's asked, what about the idea that we're talking over here, the person says, I want to get my money because I'm Metzia David. You have a minimum compensation, as we learned in the end of yesterday's daf, poil bottle. And if you don't have the minimum compensation, then, you can come and give me do tonight and get more. What about Mavriach Arim and Yichsechaver? We learned Bava someone who takes away a line from his friend's property, so you don't pay him. So why here do you get compensation? You don't get paid, and there you do get paid. What's the pshat? So the Tosis here explains the pshat is the Tosis brings you a few. It's a long Tosis, but Tosis brings you also Tosis Bava the same thing. Is not 100% sure there will be an Aveda. We're not talking about here for sure the line is coming. It's a possibility the line is coming. So he comes in and it distracts the line. Brings another example. Person goes and pays the loans. That's even that case. That's the Kiddush, big Kiddush to Rabbeinu Tam says in Tosis. Person goes and pays the loans of his friend. He has a din of Avriach Ari, which takes away the lender. And what do you mean? It's not for sure you have a loan over here. Because the bar says, I know how to deal with these lenders. I speak to them and I'll be Mayfis Das. I'll make him happy and I won't pay him. You came and paid. It's very nice. He took away my headache, but I wasn't sure that I would actually have to pay this loan. So then you don't say you pay. Here, that's an pay that you're actually paying back. So you do have to go and pay it, and that's what it is. You sure you have different answers to explain it. What's the difference? That by this one answer that we're showing bring over here is that Aveda you have a mitzvah to do it. What do you mean? You can't tell me why I'm doing the Aveda. Doing the Aveda because Mishpocha told me to do the Aveda. I would love to get to go away, but I want to. Mishpocha said not to, so I can't. What? Oh no, so he says so that's why you could say I had no the way the Hushaym says, why are you saving me from the line? Why? I never asked you to do it. You're a nice guy. You're a nice guy. Okay, so you're a nice guy. What? Oh, so the question. So the question, why is it not considered to be a little bit of a mitzvah when you do Mavriach Hari? Rashi in Bava Kama says clearly it is a mitzvah. Mavriach Hari is Mekayah mitzvah. So the Shayim over here that say that it's not, maybe it's not such a chiyuv like a Shosarida. I don't know what Pshat is. Do they disagree that there's a mitzvah? Well, like you said, what about someone who saves the karak of his friend from the water that comes in? Why do we disagree with them?
If I give you money, so I think I'm trying to make.
No.
You're giving you money. I'm giving you money.
What do you mean?
Yeah. When he's paying more.
He's paying a loan. The portion of we're talking about a person who's coming to the field of his friend, and he doesn't allow the lion to come. The lion is about to attack.
He's basically giving him $1,000. He's giving to spend $1,000.
He's saving himself $1,000 from being lost. He's saving $1,000 being lost.
He's giving him $1,000. Okay,
so what do you say? By the way, really, you missed the Shabbos daf, but on the Shabbos daf, he also did not T4 works the other way, but it's a T3. So that he asked in Shabbos he doesn't agree. He said that we have water in the field. He was timing. It's not a Shos Aveda. Why is the Shos Aveda? It's going to show him. But the Gemara said it is the Shos Aveda. I agree with the question. I was bothered with the fact that we're saying that Avriya Chavi there's no mitzvah. A Shos Aveda there is a mitzvah.
It's a maybe. If it's a definite, the water's coming. It's going to destroy the field.
Right, that's according to Tesis. According to Tesis, yes. According to Tesis, that's a good answer. Tesis says the difference between if you know it's a definite or not, and that's the answer to Tesis. I'm saying the other should bring a different answer. There's a mitzvah, there's no mitzvah. Okay. So the Mishnah. Motzo berefes ein chayabo. If it's in the refes, what's exact translation in English to refes? The barn will be the barn. So Motzo berefes ein chayabo. He's not chayav to return it. Like I was going to say, of course. I mean, it's in the barn. Why should you return it to where?
It's a barn.
Yeah, chayav b'imoy. So based on kavaris, so b'shus rab and chayav. Shus rab, you have to return it. Okay. What's the
Whose barn is it? Whose barn is it?
owner?
Why?
That's what the Gemara is. You're bad with the Gemara's bad. Says the Gemara of b'imoy. So based on kavaris, lo yitam life. If it's a based on kavaris, you should not go in if he's a kohen. Im Omer lo ovi v'tomo or shamar lo al tachzir lo yishvaloi. The father tells him to go. Who's his father? Or the father tells him don't go. The father tells him to become a tummy, or he's not supposed to become a tummy. Or the father tells him don't return the aveda lo yishvaloi. He's not supposed to listen to his father. More going to tell me what's the Avan. Porak v'toan, porak v'toan. Afilu arba chavisha b'omim. Now suddenly we're shifting into another sugya which we mentioned in the previous daf in the Gemara. But the Mishnah did not speak about it, which was going to unloading and loading an animal. So if you have unloading and loading, you have to go and help him many times. Says, you have a mitzvah, you're going to go do it. I'm the owner. I'm going to sit down and relax. You have to help him out. If he's not going to he can't do it. He wants to help. He can't help. So then the person has to help. The mitzvah is to unload but not to load. The Gemara is going to ask, how could that be? What? Interesting. Yeah. Very good error. I don't know. Good error. Why? The Pashas Me'apam is always a guzma. Usually is not only a guzma, so I don't know. Where it says, now, mitzvah the mitzvah is to unload but not to load. More is going to say, what do you mean? You have two psukim, one for unloading, one for loading. Why are you saying it's not a mitzvah? No, there's a mitzvah also to load. Basically, yes, if the owner overloaded the animal. It's carrying much more than its capacity. Doesn't have to help him. In other words, it's the pshia of the owner. The owner should be more careful, not load it so much. Says the Gemara. Oh, so that's the one going to speak about. That's the sugya. That was one of the right. The one going to bring a discussion if tzar b'acham is d'oraisa or not. The one going to say, well, if it's tzar b'acham d'oraisa, what do you care that the owner made a mistake? That's the question the one going to bring.
The last mission also said 4.
So maybe the Mishnah said different than the Gemara.
I'm just
Yeah. So I'm saying maybe the Mishnah is a different lashon than the Gemara. Here, okay. Go to very very good point. So okay, so yeah, very good. Says the Gemara, Amar Rava, Rebbe Shomru, Eino Maso ve'Eino Mishtamer. So what does it mean Eino Maso? Doesn't cause the animal to run away. Right, barn, and it also doesn't guard the animal. It's not. It doesn't. The barn is not a dangerous place for the animal to run away. Because it says you're not responsible. If you told me that's a place where the animal is guarded, if you find it outside, you return it inside. I mean, you found it in the barn. Of course, leave it in the barn. You see, it's not mishtamer. It's mine of kamino. The kamino is, and here this is a raya to what Tosa said earlier, that there's 3 levels of mishtamers. There is Mishtameres, there's Einu Mishtameres, and then there's something in between. There's something in between, which is like Mishtameres excess. So Mishtameres here, you see, what does it mean? This is not good enough to return. We learned they have to be returning in Makom Mishtamer, like based on where it says you have to have Ginosa, so you have to return it over there. You have to return Makom Mishtamer. It's not Makom Mishtamer, you can't return the Aveda. So that's to me, this is not called Mishtameres. So, but it's not considered to be Aveda either. So there to be a place where it's not good enough for returning, but it's not no obligation to start the returning process. You can't end the returning process there. We don't have to start the returning process over there. That's the Mishtameres says. That's the definition. Says the Gemara, Motzo b'refes ein chayav, Oma avitzchok v'hu shoymedes toich l'tchum. We're talking about it's in the tchum of it's in the tchum. Michlal the b'shus rabim afilu tchoy toich l'tchum nami chayav master b'shus rabim. If you find an animal b'shus rabim, even if it's within the tchum, it's within the city, so you chayav. You get a matin al seva. Some learn on the end of the Mishnah. B'shus rabim chayav bo. Oma avitzchok v'hu shoymedes chutz l'tchum. Tavka b'shus rabim chutz l'tchum. So even if the reference is outside of the tchum, and this is a little hard to understand because talk about a barn, meaning it's out of the city, it's not under the control of the owner.
Where's the owner? Doesn't need to find around here. There's no strife.
Right. If I was not tchum, it's a tchum of an ear. But for me, what was very difficult is, and I didn't have enough time to research it. Is like what's shot. If you have a barn that belongs to the owner, it's outside of the city, and he has a cow there. So you have to return. You have to go to the barn and take it back. The barn has meaning the barn you have to give it back. Why? It's put there purposely. Why is it worse than having an animal grazing in the field?
Right.
Right. The animal, the Bible put it there. So the only shot maybe that's I just don't have I don't see it inside. Maybe the shot is we're talking about here that you see that the animal is a little lost. The animal's there and the hour's not supposed to be there. So if you're going to someone's house and the animal's there and you realize that the Bible don't know, that's not Aveda. It's in the house. And here you talk about it's in the barn and it seems like that there was maybe a mistake. The shepherd didn't take it back home or something like that. That's what I'm talking about in the barn. If it's a chutz tchum, you have to give it back. That's a tzad. I don't know. So the word basic words lo itama lo basic words shinag go the basic words he was a koy. So what do you mean nine shim omer lo avivi tame or shomer lo al taxi? If the father tells him to be tame or to not to go back, shloi shvaloi shnema ish aviv imoy tiro v'shavseisai tishmoru ani Hashem kulchem chayovim b'chvoidu. So you should be both tiro, but shvaisai ani Hashem you have to listen to Kadosh Baruch Hu and not to the father. So once again, time goes on. Come on, I so say tishmoru. Because this was you, halava have a minute size late. Now I'll think you have to listen to the father. Right, you have the essay to listen to the father, and those listen to the essay. You show him. What's the essay over here? Kibbud Aveh. Right?
Second estimate, Tommy.
Right, and the Lois of says we talk about it to become Tomei. We learned before for according to you and Lois Tame. Now, why is a parent, the Rishonim asked a question over here. Why is the parents only one essay? It's two essays. It should be with Tiro, and you have as Kabesa B'Chosimet. So what? The two different things, very good. The Rishonim say it's at two different places. Yiro and Ava depend on different actions. You don't have both mitzvahs in every action that you do. So here, when you're not listening to your father, not say this we talk about the should be Tiro. So you don't have essay to essay. It's a sign amino wilbu kosh. Kibud avem lichpoid shlomokom. Shneimar kan kabed tzavich v'simecho. Shneimar lalem kabed Hashem mihoincho. So this kabed by the father and mother. It says kabed by Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Hilkach litzayis lei. So you should listen to the father. Kamash you don't listen to father. And even though it's hukash a father for the mokim, this connects beautiful to Amaral that says that the father is the way. The parents are the way to connect HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The way a person recognizes what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is through having parents. So we had to have a meaning that maybe, if the father says something, that's the derech HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Yeah,
No, so that's first of all. The first we asked more. The first why it covers up the Hashem Yehoincha. We have Ukash Koyel Koyel Amokum. We learned it by Kabbalah. We have We have the Gemara brings other psukim kedushin. Now we have a hekesh for the mocker chod avivim. It's on this pasuk. Right for this pasuk. So we'll leave it as a question. Good question. You have to say why the Gemara is no kedavka this mocker and not others.
You just said.
At least that's what, I don't know, it's easy.
Yeah.
What is it? What's the little cook kind of fight? See, because you know, when the guy's fighting.
No, Kloidi is that the father's doing an avera. Right?
No, so fight is you can't listen to the father. You can't listen to the father. The cook kind of fight. That is why it's fighting there.
No, is it this? No, right. A second. The Gemara is saying why? No, that's exactly the mahalach of the Gemara. Gemara is saying why do I need to tell you Kloidi? Of course, you should listen to both. So because who kash Kloidi and Kloidi makolim. So I would think you listen to your parents. Kamash Malan Kloidi.
Oh, but that's the best place to ask that.
What? Oh, you're saying so maybe we'll be on both. Maybe we're both. You're asking. Okay. Gemara said I have a puzzle. Tell. That's what Gemara says. Ask the Gemara, why don't you a puzzle for that? Why don't you call Kloidi? Just say and it's a ridiculous of essay. That's it. I don't need to call Kloidi. Answers the Gemara, I thought he needs to listen to the father because who could Kloidi with the Markoim. So then, even though it's a ridiculous of essay, I still have to listen to my father because his covenant is like covenant of Kishbuch. So what will tell me not to listen to my father? The that's the reason. That's the reason why I don't say anything else. Okay. And questions, why don't we make other rayas? Why don't we say the hukash or the mokbekoi was saying? Yeah.
It's Bava versus This pasuk relates to keyboard, right?
Right, but see the hukash kloid with the mokum, we have it also in Seres Libris.
It's general.
Yeah. There is tiro, but shlichah lasik for the covering. The Mashal brings that there's also psukim and cover that we learn in Masas Kedusha. Just don't remember what the mocker is. Yeah. So the mitzvah when I tell you lifroik avaloy litoin. There's a mitzvah to unload, not to load. Says the Gemara, "My avaloy litoin." Lim avaloy litoin. Cloud. There's no mitzvah to load. My story pika the ktiva zoiv tasag yimoy. It's yama pasuk. Tiyanam yaktiva can't talk yimoy. There's a pasuk for both. And the mitzvah when I tell you lifroik bichinam avaloy litoin bichinam ela b'schar. There's a mitzvah to unload the animal and you don't get paid for it. But to load the animal, you do get paid for it. Yeah.
With the load. This is not talking about a case where I have an animal, I have a load, never been on it. I never just to help the guy load. That's a different case than where the animal.
I was thinking, right. I don't see any indication that's the case. I hear what you're saying. I don't know. Why not? No, so
But why didn't you mix it the other way then? How could we have a mix of that?
they're saying it's a mitzvah.
That's not the
But the word didn't mention there is something with the animal last yesterday. What we should explain, it's when you load with two people, it's an easier load than when you have one person loading.
With the load.
I hear maybe.
Right, we'll go back to the pasuk, right? That's what.
Was referring to when he fell.
That's what he felt.
Okay, I would try when okay. It says the Gemara anyway. You get paid for loading and after unloading. And also loading, it's free. You don't get paid for that. The unloading is for free, and unloading is you pay for it. By time what's the reason? He's the guy that comes in the truck wanted to buy preco. Just say they have to load the animal. Of course, you have to unload. By loading an animal. The animal's not suffering, and you won't have a monetary loss. Meaning, what is a monetary loss? A big monetary loss by losing the value of the animal. And the animal will lose value. By unloading, then the animal does have a tzab chaim, and you're losing money because the animal can die. Like that you have to do it. So I have to take both cases. The reason we tell me is to tell you the difference. In unloading, you don't get paid, and by loading, you get paid. In my time, what's Shimon's reason? I don't know what does it mean loading, what does it mean unloading. Tell you, well, I don't know. I have to have two psukim. Tell me which one is which. In other words, once you have both, I know the one is low and one is unknown. Why not? That's also a posuk you mentioned, right?
Exactly.
The one is talking about that it's roivis that was under the load. The one is noiflim baderech means it's falling in the way. The Rama inu v'tanai baruch. That's the maybe maybe that only that case you're saying. Mashra Shimon noiflim baderech inu v'tanai alayu mashra. No, talking about could be means it fell on the way with its load. If I would have only that possible, would say noiflim baderech means he's falling apart with the load on it. Now that they both fell on the floor. Okay, so that's why I have to bring a plus. Oh my Rabba is like the more definitely based on the top. B'divation Yilmod you see from both. Sorry by the Chaim Deraiso. Both agreed. Sorry by the Deraiso. Philip Shimon lekoma mishum deloy misay mikroy. Only because he said I don't know which pasuk is talking about which. How misay mikroy the sheik kavachem. But if you do have the pasuk, so you have a kavachem. Mishum mishuma. What is the worker? La mishum sorry by the Chaim dashina. It's right. So you see very the one. What is the drush? The drush is if you have the animal that's suffering, Koshkevam is not suffering, and who cares about the animal suffering? It's all about you care about the animal suffering. Says the word deal more. What? Because the Torah tells you. Why do you need a pasuk? You're saying what is the reason? The pasuk is kavachim. I need a pasuk. I mean the Torah agrees. It's all about says more deal mishul liga chesukis. Maybe the kavachem is based on chesukis. If when you are unloading the animal will cause the animal to die, you're going to lose money. You have to pay. You have to help. So koshikin when you're loading. It says more of it. You have no chesukis. What do you mean? Of course, he's not going to load. He needs to go to the market. He's going to lose money. He has to hey, yeah, he's going to leave it there. He's not going to be able to load and get out of the place. He's going to be wrapped. So that's more that's number one. So more disagrees with the Hefsed. The Chori could be Hefsed in both. And now what goes on, it says, so the Ketani say for it, says basically it says it's too much on the animal. So basically it says that's the fault of the owner. If not that, the Tanakama. So what's Tanakama hold? Why is Zokagloy? It's the fault of the owner. My time so it's you see over here it's so that's what they're arguing. Do you care about the fact that the animal is suffering or not? So we're dealing with Tagamasoy pligi. The basically sova the basic sova the shit Tagamasoy. So it's no right. It could be just a question of how you dash the puzzle. Do you dash the Tagamasoy? Don't dash the Tagamasoy. Hey, though, the Tzabah Chaim Lav Duraisa. We are right at Tzabah Duraisa. Tani Meisha. Holach v'yoshav loy. The owner comes and sits down on the side. For my loy oyil v'alecha mitzli proik patu shenemar imoy. Right? It says with him. He's saying that Tzabah Chaim Duraisa. So Mali Yisrael Mori Be'adei Mali Kilei Samor Be'adei. Loy lo Tzabah Chaim Duraisa. It's right. So in other words, if you have Tzabah Chaim, the animal suffering. So the owner says, "I want to go sit on the side." So what if it's going to sit on the side? And if you're not going to, you don't want to help. But you have a problem over here. You have an animal suffering. So someone's potu legami. This means potu to do it. Usually we'll unload. You don't get paid for it. But here you do get paid. Why do you get paid? You're getting paid because it says I'm going to help you. You don't want to do your share, so you have to pay me. But you have to do it. I haven't come up one key. So when the owner is there, then you'll do it for free. You get paid for it. And really, you hold Tzavachim is Deraisa. Says the word Metzia, I'll bring you a riot, Tzavachim Deraisa. Behemoth of a goy to take care of like Behem of Yisrael. You don't be sure Tzavachim Deraisa. If you hold because Tzavachim Deraisa, then Shuachim Mitabel Behem of Yisrael because they have the same Tzavachim. He with Tzavachim love the right. So in my Mitabel Behem of Yisrael, why do you be careful of Behem of Yisrael? So he says more also Mishum Ava. Here is because of Ava, because if you take care of all the Yisraels and not the Goyim, you're going to cause animosity with the Goyim. So that's where you do it. And now Raya Tzavachim Deraisa. Akram Mistav the Ktani Moiso Tuna Yain Osur, if he's holding on, Yain Nesek, Ain't Zokuglo. Why? Because you don't want to help when you talk about Israel. No. So he might Bishul Lavder, right? So Shuach Ain't Zokuglo, because I don't tell Lechem, it's only in a mess. Here I have a way to get out. As Rashi puts out, he could tell him, I don't want to deal with Yain Nesek, I'm not allowed to touch your wine, I'm not getting close to your wine. He might right? So Yain Zokuglo, why not? So the you're right. Akikomar, who not Ino Yain Osur Ain't Zokuglo. Not to unload. To load the animal with Yain Osur, you don't have to do it because that you're really doing because of Avo, that's clear, because there's no Tzav Alechaim. And if you can get out of it, you can get out of it. Sigma another raya, Toshma Behemoth Kechovi Masu Yisrael. If the Behemoth belongs to a goy and the load belongs to Yisrael, Bechodalto, then you don't have to do it. Yom Tzav Alechaim Derai, so Imai Bechodalto, Azoiv Tazoiv Baila, you should help because the animal is suffering. No, it is the honor of Sophie also betino. Talk about again loading, not unloading. Yaki am a safe. If they talk about loading, look at the next part. Amos Yisrael Masok Kechovi. If you have a baby belongs to Yisrael, and the load belongs to a goy, Azoiv Tazoiv. Why are you helping? It belongs to a goy. The must belongs to a goy. Someone should say the Yisrael because the Yisrael he's tough. He needs help. Yaakov the Ration obviously. What's the Ration? The same thing. When you have the opposite case, you have the animal belongs to a goy and the must is Yisrael. So it's more ratio b'chamai with kachovim. Same with b'chamai Yisrael. Talk about who is the owner of the company that's the moving. Who's the owner of the truck? So in the case of the chamor of the goy, the owner is the goy. Chamor Yisrael, the owner is Yisrael. By Pascos, why? Stam the milsa inish basta chamrei ozil. Right. In other words, that we talk about like you said, the owner of the truck is the one driving the truck. The owner of the donkey is the one driving the donkey. So we talk about it. He's strong driving the donkey. You need to help him out. The guy is driving the donkey. You don't have to help him. Says the Gemara, but the whole drasha doesn't work because we dash with the words. And that's talking about the unloading, unloading. So the more you're right. Basically, the Omer Tzaba Chaim Lav Deraisa. Choose basically the old Tzaba Chaim is not Deraisa. Let's go a few more lines and we'll see what we have. What time is it now? Is this?
8:23.
Okay. Toshma. So the more. All you've leave for you have a lover, someone you love, to unload. You have a hater to load. Mitzvah b'soyne kedei loko v'yitzroy. Person should give to soyne to be kreif v'yitzroy. This, by the way, it's brought down Allah. They got mishloach monis. That it's a mitzvah to give a mishloach monis to someone you hate. Lako v'yitzroy. Oh, okay. He's like that. You do a mahadim mitzvah. They hate someone first. They do a bigger mitzvah. Okay. He's like that. Tzar by the chaim right. So, you have here tzar by chaim. Forget it. Love. You want to kreif v'yitzroy. You're causing a suffering to the animal. So, I feel how can you deal with kof v'yitzroy? If somebody say you want to get lakov v'yitzroy. So, Toshma another right. Toshma nishom u'soyne yisroel v'lo'soyne v'kechovim. Soyne yisroel you have to do not soyne kechovim. You have tzar by chaim right. So, mali soyne yisroel, mali soyne kechovim. Again, if the animal is suffering, you need to help. Some of the saying the crook. I mean, I think about the saying the pasuk we mentioned. We talk about Azar Ta'azov in the pasuk of unloading. I say the mistake guy. We talk about loading. Sigma Toshma without McGill without that. Roivitz veloy rovtzon. Right? It says roivitz and now rovtzon means what's rovtzon? Roivitz means right now he's falling down, but not an animal that falls down the whole time. Roivitz veloy omed veloy oimed. You have to be not standing up, then you have to help. Meaning that it's under. It's not. We talk about. The boy's going to ask what we have. What loading? We just said loading. You do have to do. So Josh has different words in the plus. Here, what's up, right? So Mali Roivitz, Mali Ravtson. Who cares if the animal falls many times? The animal's suffering. Mali Oivit. If you're standing still, the animal's suffering. Well, many basically do what Tzava Chaim derais. Derbon. He'll derbon. Chaim istab the ktani takad masui sheyochol boy. We said he has to be so you can carry. Mat Shabbos like the Isla Svar, who's the one who said that Svar? Basically in the Mishnah Shramina. Says the more, and this more answers the Shakatari. Matzis mukmi like basically. Ktani said takad masui below me for. He not before. He not unloaded to load it up. My load before. He load for a cloud. I mean, you don't do a loading at all. It says akiptaki. It says do shalom, do load. Talk about you get paid for it. Man, Shammos who's the one that says you get paid is Rabbanan. So according to this price is Rabbanan. Says the Gemara, we say regarding Tzal B'chaim the Rabbanan, and he agrees with Rabbanan that you get paid for loading. So that's what this price says. We still may say that's what it is. I just want to conclude with the Kudo. More here is dashing the whole Amud, more than Amud, Tzal B'chaim the rice, not the rice. What is the reason Tzal B'chaim the rice? What will be the reason behind it? Most shot is because Rachman Makol Ma'asav. Both cares about all his creatures, including his animals. Doesn't want the animals to suffer. The Rambam, the Morning Neruchim, and so brings the Ramchal and Metzia Sishoim, say that shot is because a person needs to work on himself to not have any need of achzorius. A person sees an animal suffering and doesn't help, he needs to work on his mercy. A person should be a Rachman. Being working in Rachman is you work in Rachman when you're dealing with a Yid. You're Rachman dealing with the animal too, because you want to have oivet the midas rachmanos. So that's what they both the Rambam and Metzia Shem say. Api and Mekubalim, talking about the Kubalim that we have the Nigel Mekubalim, the Kanti on Chumash brings it, and so bring the Ridvaz and others. Say Pshat is Davar Almoik says that Balechaim there's a discussion in the Rishonim if an neshama can be misgalgal into an animal. Says the Rekanti and says the Ridvaz, for sure, yes. He brings different raya. That's one of the pasuk that says, "Tzilo nafshi misheker yichidos minat kelev yichidos." Minat kelev yichidos. Don't let my neshama go into a dog. Because the neshama can go into a dog. Says that's the reason Tzal B'chaim D'Oraisa. Says the Rekanti. Why? Because maybe there's an animal. There's a neshama into the Tzal B'chaim. It's not a Tzal animal. It's Adam. And the Ridvaz takes it. It says that's a whole the mitzvahs that we have with animals have to do because maybe there's a gilgul neshama into the animal. That's why that's why the karbonis, all these things because Tzal B'chaim D'Oraisa has the get that is straight in the sugya and more of that on the Shom Nadam. Go check it out.
Right.